this also shows to me that Kendrick is a compassionate, caring guy who didn't want to have Lefty come to the studio, record 3 songs, have it leaked out to the world through somebody like LA Icon, and then just not put any of it on the record. So he did the closest thing that he could possibly do to keeping Lefty off the record.
Take his hardest 4 bars and smack him somewhere.
1 bar.
Three
One bar.
words. No,
Get scrambled.
4 words. Not
One
even,
bar.
it's not even a sentence.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
repeat it over and over. What's he say? Silly, scandalous, funny, haha. Like, I forget. He just says 4
Fucking
random
asshole.
Funny, haha.
I can't even remember what he said, but that
He
shit.
said hilarious,
Yeah.
silly, scandalous, funny, hilarious.
He opened the thesaurus.
Zesty, flamboyant.
Yeah, yo. Shout out to Kendrick showing love to a young Scante warrior.
Hey,
but
his part of the song sounds tight, though.
Yeah,
It
yo,
does sound tight.
and it's a good ass song.
That sounds tight.
Some of these other songs, I'm not gonna lie, Dodger Blue, that shit sucks. We're gonna get into that in a minute. But TV Off, dope song. One of the best songs on the album.
For
I would
sure.
say Squabble Up and Whacked Out Murals are better from my perspective. But TV Off, one of the best ones. They squeeze a tiny little bit of Lefty in there at the end. But it's like, Kendrick didn't want to put that shit on there, but he felt like he still had to give Lefty a little something because he pulled up to the stew.
If I had to guess, I'm assuming like there's a gang of shit recorded. They just scheduled a bunch of sessions and they just took whatever the best songs were. And that's whatever the ones that made the most sense. There's all different collaborations with different people. You feel me?
But,
Some song might have Peysoh, Dodie, and Chike on it. This
Let me
one
paint the picture, though.
Does that sound accurate to you?
Yeah.
Let me paint the picture. They do this crazy studio session. They probably got a bunch of different studios going at once. And then when it's all said and done, Kendrick's left sitting there with his team. He's sitting there with Dave Free or whoever the fuck. And he's listening to Lefty's verses. And he's just,
booty.
and Kendrick's just like thinking to himself, he's like, I'm the best LA rapper of the last 15 years. I can't put this on. I can't do it. If you're Kendrick and you care so much about rapping, you cannot put, and then I whip, and then I nay-nay. What do you say? This is all
Watch me whip.
He said me out the whip. Like, give my name.
he was probably saying shit like that
For
on the
sure.
verses that
For
didn't get
sure.
used. Can you imagine how bad that shit was? Because
But-
we've never heard a good Lefty verse.
He seems like he would be nervous in front of Kendrick. Like, you meet me the first day and rap. Like, he's so much of a dope fiend. Like, I feel like he'd be like, damn, I got to come up with a hard verse. And then you got to think he's been ridiculed for being ass for the last 3 to 4 months of just putting out trash-ass music to where he had to admit it on the pod
Yeah.
a month ago or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So you got to think you in a booth with that mindset and you trying to perform for Kendrick, pause, if that sounds positive.
Like Lefty for sure was in that studio with the most understandable sense of imposter syndrome that you could ever have as a person.
Period.
Because he had to be in there just knowing that the streets of LA have basically like ruled him out in terms of being a lyrical force. And then somehow Kendrick got tricked by the face tattoos and the funny zesty attitude. He invited him in and then he had to try to perform. They took all that shit out of 3 goddamn verses. All that he could really decide on was like, well, this part where he says 4 unrelated words in a row. Let's just loop that a little bit at the end just so we can have him on there.
Well, yeah, because like, doesn't that kind of show that Kendrick and TDE have like a modicum of respect for Lefty at least because they kept him on the project?
I think they just
If
didn't. They didn't
wanna
want to
fuck
make
with
him
they
look
would've
bad,
just chalked him.
and that's why Lefty never said nothing about this shit before it came out. Like Icon leaked it, but Lefty never said anything because I think Lefty was scared that Kendrick was going to leave him off entirely because obviously that would have been the fair, rational decision since the shit was so
You've
booty.
been putting out trash music and you got to go rap with the best rapper in possibly the whole universe right now. You got some butterflies.
The crazy part about it to me is that Lefty can't say, he's always trying to say he's the top LA Mexican rapper. You're not even the top LA Mexican rapper on this project. Peysoh wiped the floor with you.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's be real.
He came out while Peysoh was in jail. So
Tell him
that's why.
Peysoh did it. Who fucked Lefty up on this project? Tell him Peysoh did it. I'm just saying, it's not even close. Peysoh washed you. Lefty, you need to go home and you need to study Peysoh's verse on this, and then you need to study the rest of his catalog. That's a real Rasa member right there. What you're doing, lyrically, can't hold a candle to my man.
Do you think though, like, is it possible that Lefty is feeling himself so much that he went and recorded that song with Kendrick? It's like, oh, I'm doing a song with Kendrick, but you know what? Kendrick's doing a song with Lefty Gunplay right now. Like,
you think he went in there and just did his little zesty freestyle thing?
Like,
I would love to hear
Kendrick, we're the two hardest rappers in the city. You know, we got to do it. We got to put on for Black and Brown unity. Like,
I'm the best Mexican rapper. You're the best Black rapper.
I just,
it only makes sense.
It only makes sense. I totally see that. You couldn't.
Hey man, they said I couldn't be on the album with Kendrick. I'm in here with the blacks, fool. This shit crazy, bro. I'm the best of the Rasa. You the best of the blacks.
He's finna go left when they get to like I'm on Kendrick's album, so.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Like nigga,
I'm glad though of like you look at all the collabs are so politically chosen. It's like he got hella bloods on there.
Has extremely low amount of views. It lets you.
These are the views on the genius.com
of the lyrics.
Thing.
People reading the lyrics.
I'm just saying nobody's concerned about the song. It still shows a level of concern, right?
Wait, which one? The Lefty one?
No, the Dodger Blue with Roddy Siete and
you can't say the Lefty one. He's not on the song.
Yeah, he ain't on it that much.
Who got left off Bad and Bougie?
You know what it is though? It's like all right, you know, it's taken down now, but me and Big Sad, rest in peace, the collab that we did. You know how there was like a little snippet like that little snippet of Birdman in the middle of it?
Yeah.
Just talking some shit, saying something. Yeah. I mean, that's like kind of what he gave Lefty, is like a funny little. It's like when you see a crackhead outside the studio and you just like get him on camera talking shit a little bit and you put that at the end of the video or whatever. It's like, to me, that's closer to what they gave Lefty than an actual feature.
So you're saying they skrilled him essentially?
Everybody, yes. For sure. Zombieland.
Yeah.
It was Zombieland when Lefty showed up in the studio. And for the record, Lefty, this is all your fault. The reason why we're shitting on you right now. I would be in here trying to hold water for him. And especially you. Nobody has done more to glaze Lefty Gunplay than you.
I fuck with Lefty.
But it's hard for you to defend a lot of his recent catalog, I've noticed.
Well, you know, like I would like to see him actually put his best foot forward. If you listen to the joints he was putting out when he first
came out, it sounded a lot better.
Boulevard Babies, all the shit he was doing with Benji Rowe and shit was hard. And I just feel like he hasn't really been putting the same effort into it. But, you know, I would like to.
Is it problem writing for him now?
Problem writing for him? Shit, I don't know about that. But
he needs somebody to write for him. That's my number one piece of advice.
I think he got a writer now.
Did you problem write the verse on the
It was 4 words.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Yeah, probably.
But I won't use that to take it away from him when Lefty starts to rap like a coherent human being, which I assume will happen at some point. Like if he gets a writer and actually gets his shit together, I'm not going to try to take that away from him.
Like glazing, politics, all that aside, bro can really rap. Like he can freestyle for hours. He just does.
Watch me whip and watch me nay nay.
Not been putting his best foot forward.
They tell him to control his drug intake. He won't be freestyling. If he gas up off a 0.2 line of some shorts,
man.
Come on, man. Anybody can rap all night off that shit.
0.2, yeah.
That's a healthy.
Some of the earlier Lush One podcast appearances.
His music definitely sounds like somebody who's mashing meth smoke down their throat as they produce it. But anyway, Lefty, I swear there will be another moment, hopefully, possibly, where you get another chance to rap with some of the big dogs. But unfortunately, Peysoh absolutely washed him on this project.